Are you aware of the self-talk that goes on inside your head? You know, that inner conversation that you have with yourself. Have you noticed if it is generally a positive, encouraging type of voice? Or is it a negative, discouraging, and belittling type of voice? Is the way that you talk to yourself, is that the way that you would talk to one of your friends? Because in the Bible, it talks about love each other, love others, love your neighbor as you love yourself. But I want to know, how are we actually loving ourselves? Because it's from that place of loving ourselves that we are called to love others. Hi, I'm ketorstad, and I am a women's life empowerment coach. And today I want to share with you some really important tools that have transformed my life in especially this area of self-talk. I remember there was a season of my life that I was feeling really, really discouraged, and I would even come to say maybe I was somewhat depressed. And there was probably a whole lot of reasons why I was feeling that. But a lot of the things that I discovered in this process and in this journey that I went through was to recognize where my thoughts were and what my self-talk was. Because I recognized that it was often belittling, discouraging, and negative the way that I talked to myself. I was using lots of shame and blame, and I was not anywhere uplifting myself and encouraging myself. I kind of expected other people to do that for me. But I recognized and I discovered that I wasn't actually doing that to myself. For so long, I allowed my mind to tell me all kinds of lies based on the things that I had experienced in the past. And my mind went to work to bring up evidence to prove those things to be true. The way our brains work is that they receive information, whether it's from our senses, what we're experiencing, all this information is going in, it's being processed, it's being analyzed within seconds, right? And our brain just is flooded with all different thoughts, and our brains also allow us to experience the feelings that we feel in response to those thoughts. So all these things are going on, and it's the whole time making meaning of things. And so thoughts will come into our mind that we believe to be true because it's something that we're experiencing, something that we're seeing, something that's tangible, and something that feels very real and true to us. And so it's not often that we stop up to question those things and question those thoughts and see, is this actually even true? Is what I'm thinking and believing about myself, about others, about this situation, is this actually true? And for me, what I noticed is I often was caught into this downward spiral, if you will, where I recognized I was so controlled by my emotions, and I easily found myself spiraling into discouragement, and I just let my mind wander wherever it wanted to wander. I didn't actually know how to take my thoughts captive. I'd heard that in the Bible, but I didn't know how to actually do that. And it's so easy to also, when you're in that space, for your brain to bring up thoughts from your past to remind you, yeah, you're feeling like this. Yeah, that's true, because look back here. Look at this evidence back here to confirm what you're thinking is true. That's how our brains work. And I don't know about you, but I've found that a very common thought, belief, lie that I had in my mind was the thought that I'm not good enough. And the thoughts that I would recognize that were popping up is like, I should do this better. I should do that better. Or, this shouldn't be like that. It was like should was a lot of the thoughts that came up. And what I recognized, the feeling that I was left with was this feeling of inadequacy, of not good enough. And what then happens is I go into this habit of shaming myself and holding myself to this standard that I'm never able to reach. And so I'm constantly in this cycle of I'm not good enough. I'm always falling short. I'm never going to make it. And for whatever it may be, whether it was like in relationships or whether it was in pursuits that I had, dreams and desires that I had, and whether I believed that I was capable of doing those things. And I just recognized that I had this really messed up and broken view of myself. And praise God that I was able to process through that. And I would say, like, am I completely a different person and never, ever struggle with that? No. You know, the way our brain works is that we can rewire our brains, but those thoughts, those memories are still there. So I still find myself sometimes slipping into the tendency to think those thoughts. But what I have learned is the tools and the techniques to be able to stop it in its tracks before I swirl and spiral out of control, before I, find myself going days under this dark cloud of discouragement, and to actually be like, you know what, that's not the truth. That maybe something that my brain is dishing up to make me believe, like this lie, and I totally believe as well, the enemy is wanting to steal, kill, and destroy. He comes to also plant those negative thoughts in our mind, because he doesn't want us living in our identity of who God's called us to be. But I've also learned that I can take those captive and I can say, no, this is not true. The truth is I am good enough. I am valuable. I am adequate. I'm approved just as I am. And I don't know if there is someone that's listening to this that also struggles with these feelings that I have. I would love to have a conversation with you. So I need to start recognizing that all these thoughts that I'm thinking in my mind, they're not all true. But what is true is who God says that I am. He says that I am loved. He says that I am his daughter. He says that he has justified me. He says that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. He says that he has a great plan and purpose for my life. He says so many good things about me if I only stop up and look for it and discover it and then decide to believe it. Now, it didn't come instantly, and changing our self-talk is a process. It's not just a matter of chanting these positive mantras that you hear out there in the world, and that's what's going to change your self-talk. No, it is intentional focus, looking at what is it that I'm actually believing about myself? Where is this coming from? Why am I believing that? And starting to break apart and break down those lies, and then start to plant in those seeds of new positive thoughts, of seeds of truth, of who you really are, who you want to believe that you are, and who God actually says that you are. And when you think about planting seeds, it takes time to grow. It takes watering. It takes sunshine. It takes nurturing. It takes time. And that's how it is with our brains, with these neural pathways in our brains. We can't just expect that, I'm going to think this thought and tomorrow I'm going to wake up a totally different person. I wish. Sometimes God can do amazing, miraculous things, and sometimes he can shift things in an instant. But a lot of the time, from what I've experienced, it takes time. It takes consistency and intentionality, but it is possible and it can be simple. It doesn't have to take a lot of time each day, but it does take little steps every day. Just like a little seed starting to grow. You're not going to notice it right from the beginning. Maybe you will. but you don't notice it from day to day that it's growing. But maybe after a week, maybe after 2 weeks, maybe after a month, you see, oh, wow, the plant's growing. Oh, wow, there's a bud. Oh, wow, there's a flower that's just suddenly appeared. And that's how it is in our mind as well. And so today, what I want to share with you is just some tools and tips on how you can change your self-talk and rewire that so that you can actually start loving yourself so that you can then love others, so that you can start being your biggest cheerleader and encourager and the one who speaks life over yourself. Because chances are there's probably not that many people doing that for you. I hope and pray that there are people that are speaking life and speaking encouragement and hope and belief over you. But if not, don't wait for someone to do that. Start with stirring that up yourself. You can do that yourself. And so I have a free resource in the comments below is a link to get your free biblical affirmations to transform your life. And it is a PDF document of, let's see, like 3 pages of biblical truth from the Bible that you can declare over your life. As I said, you can't use this just as a mantra and expect like, well, I'm going to say it and then I'm going to, believe it, because it takes time for our brain to unwire those old beliefs and start to rewire new beliefs. But it is possible. And if you find that this is something that you have also struggled with, you're also in the place where you are, often getting pulled down into negative thought spirals, or you are often recognize that inner dialogue with yourself, that inner self-talk is one that is not something that you're proud of, not something that you're happy about, and something that you are just not sure how to change that. Maybe you've tried these biblical affirmations before and you feel like you just get stuck along the way. It doesn't really help. Then I want to invite you to have a free coaching curiosity call with me. I'll also put the link in the comments below, and that's for all of you that are just curious to know, like, what is coaching about? Is it something that can help me? Is no obligation. It's just a chance to chat and hear what's going on in your life and how can I help you. So I invite you to do that, and I hope this has blessed you. I'd love for you to comment below what your greatest takeaway from this was today. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and share this with others so that others can also be encouraged. Anyway, have a blessed week and I will see you next week.